Alright, this is Deconstructing a Mix. This is Ali. Today we're going to look at the keyboard and piano parts, or really the piano parts for this song, and just see how he mixed it. So let's take a look at here. So let's go here, let's go to the beginning. What do we have here? So we have a swell. And that matches the guitar swell up here somewhere, right? Is there anything going on here? So we're doubling the guitar swell using these. Let me just make all of these smaller for a moment, and then we'll go back to the keyboard parts here. Alright, so here we have, we're going to copy the swell. So we're hearing more of the overtones at the end, and then here where you've got the rest of this. It's kind of in the background a bit. It adds texture, but you can definitely hear it in the mix. Let's take a look at what we did here. So we have a piano double. So these are not the same instrument. We can just look at the waveform and right away know these are very different piano doubles. So painted 100. What was I thinking? The guitar's there, so it's fighting with the guitar. Now I'm tempted to just go back and tweak a few things here, right? Because that's what I do. I'm trying to make it loud in the mix, by the way. Yep, I know. Alright, so here we've got our Lindell 80. Again, I'm using this as kind of like my console, so to speak, because all the channel strip plugins here are essentially the Lindell 80. I've got this. Why did I high pass this? It didn't need to be high pass, but what happens when you high pass everything? Leave space for the bass. Unfortunately, I also high passed the bass at 45. Again, I don't know what I was thinking, and this mix was done a long time ago. Mild compression here at about 1. Now we go up to 3. There's some makeup gain. Is there? Yeah, I guess so. That's in, that's going out. What's going on with this Lindell 80? The EQ is more or less the same, but compression is on auto. You're hearing lots of changes in the volume. That's on purpose. There's a lot of automation on this particular piece. Yep, I know. I'm aware of it. Now let's look at what we're doing here with our processing plugins in parallel. So we've got a CLA 76. Probably gotta put it after the Lindell, to be honest. That's interesting. Whoops, don't want to do that. And then baby audio tape. What's going on here? Driving it a lot. Probably try to warm it up. Oh wow, that's a pretty sudden drop off in volume. Let's go to our accent here for a moment. So this is our short. That's probably just a safety for the comps or for the compressors. So we have our short, we have our long. We're using Valhalla Vintage Verb. We're using particularly the random space large setting. That's also large random space mode. So this is double, right? So we're doubling the short. I'm not sure if that's the wisest idea, and I'll tell you why. You're going to have notes just kind of blur into each other. In hindsight, maybe I could have done a plate for the short reverb and then a hall for this one. One of my favorite plugins. It lives on every mix I work on practically. But as we can see, it's not used here at all. So that should probably just be chucked out. But you know who is using it? Our friend the guitar. As far as I know, at least. Yep. The guitar is using it. Key verb 3. So the guitar is using it, interestingly enough. Let's go back to our friends, the piano, or the two pianos. And we can see here we have slightly different bass to have a more of a stereo image here, and then it's feeding reverb 1, and this is feeding guitar reverb, sorry, keyboard reverb 1 and 2, and then keyboard 1 delay. And then it's going to be slightly longer at 217 milliseconds, 226, whereas this one was 161 and 170 milliseconds left and right respectively for the delay times. Right, so that's how we're getting that sound here at the end. I'm going to pause the video here real quick if I can. So let me just do that. All right, so we're going to listen to the mix here without having to go into Pro Tools. So the piano we can hear is jumping out at the end of different phrases, right, in the actual piece itself, right? So we can hear it, we can even actually see it being automated in. So there it's more audible. That's on purpose. So at the end of certain phrases, so this is more texture here, and then now we're going to go back. So I'm trying to remember what the lyrics are here. I know. Anywho, basic idea. I'm actually going to delete. Hold on for a second here. I'm going to pause the video again because I know it's what's eating up all my RAM right now. So let me just do that. Anyhow, we can see where we make this stand out a little bit. In different parts of the mix here, we have it pretty quiet. Let's see. Please. No, seems like I have less memory, even though I quit these two programs running in the background. That's really interesting. Anyhow, so as you can see, again, my mixes tend to be pretty dynamic. They tend to have quite a bit of automation. As you can see, kind of here and here, it actually trails down a bit. Not sure why it ended up that way. But sometimes you have an element kind of start out strong, and then you sort of slowly make it drift down a little bit. But anyhow, that's how this was mixed. I went over parallel processing and also the reverb and delay effects. And anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.